Okay, so you're gonna start off with your first color, and again, it's just gonna be like a regular wash. So you're loading that brush, and you're dragging it down. So now I want to transition into my next color. So my next color, red and orange, mix really well together, right? So I'm not going to rinse my brush. I don't need to. So I'm just going to go right into that orange. And then I'm going to go right where I left off. So that orange had kind of already started to mix right here, and it kind of already looked red, didn't it? So let's mix a little more orange. There we go. There we go. Okay. So again, this still helps if it's on the on like a tilt. Yeah, it's very pinky. But then also, you guys are seeing not exactly what I'm seeing as far as like the transition of the camera. It's kind of weird. Because we had that issue with the beginning, I am going to go back in with this red. So I'm just going back in, kind of touching there at the meeting place. And you see how that transitions right here a lot better, okay? So now I'm going to rinse my brush, and now I'm going to go in to the yellow that we mixed right here. And I'm going to go right at that meeting point of the yellow, the orange, and then drag down. Whoops, sorry. So once I have this yellow laid down, I'm going to take it and kind of paint up into the orange just a little. And then while I'm here, I'm going to come back down again like this. So it's blended really nice, okay? And then the last touches on a variegated color wash is you can go in and kind of, while it's still damp, go in and kind of do that on all of them. So taking the red, taking it down into the orange a little bit, and then going back up into the red, rinsing my brush, going into the orange, starting at orange, going up into the red, going back down, going a little bit just to the edge of the yellow, because orange is way more bold than yellow is. So now I'm going to take that yellow again, start here at the bottom, and then transition up into the orange like we did before, and then down into it again. So now you have that nice color flow. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. So, let's see. For glazing, glazing is where you do transition layers of different transparent colors over top of each other. So to do an example of glazing, we have to do a layer now so it can dry, so we can do another layer later, okay? So for glazing, I think I'm going to go in with like a lime green, this yellow green. And I'm not painting the whole thing. I could, but I think I'm just going to do these like stripes. Yeah, it does look really crazy right there on the camera. Okay. So that's for later. We'll let that dry. And then another one, some other ones that we need to paint now so they can dry is, let's see, lift out, the lift out brush. So that one is right here. So for that one, let's go in with, let's do this blue, this lightest blue that we have. So for that, just gonna kind of paint a little wash. So this is so you know, if you decide to do one of these, the glazing, the brush lift out, or what's another one we're going to do, the magic eraser, that you have to have a layer down first before you can go back and do the actual technique. So there's my layer for brush out that we'll use later. And then the other one is going to be that magic eraser. And for that one, I think I'm going to do like a red-orange. So I'm just pulling from those two colors. Now, one little tip that I'll talk about before we stop for today is this. We talked about how your colors dry lighter than what they are when they're wet, right? The other thing that I want to talk about is drying, okay? So when your watercolors are in the process of drying, right after you paint them, they might look kind of soupy, okay? You see how this has the glare on it? So they look glossy, like a shine. It's got like a shine when it's still really wet. A color might still be wet even if it's not shiny, okay? The best way to check it to see if it is dry is not to necessarily touch it with your hand like this, because we have more oil on our palms than we do on the top of your palm of your hand, okay? So the best way to kind of check that so you're not getting just a lot of oil on your watercolor is to touch the back, touch it with the back of your hand, okay? Also, if it feels extremely cold, then that means it's not fully dry, okay? If it feels like the normal temperature of your other paper, then it is most likely fully dry, okay? So those are some today. We had the flat, solid flat wash, the graded wash, and the variegated wash. We had the beginning of glazing, the beginning of brush lift out, and the beginning of the magic eraser, okay? So tomorrow we'll continue to go on and do more techniques, all right?